Lansky's World Legal slip joint folder. Well, World Legal in 142 countries, and Lansky does recommend that you check with your local government. Countries where you can't carry it include Belgium, Hong Kong, Holland, Norway, Germany in Hamburg and Berlin, and Italy in towns. Now, there are some other countries where you'd be advised probably not to carry it, and we will come to those later on because there is quite an interesting point about the design of this knife. Designed or just beaten very hard with the ugly stick, you decide. This handle is really, really good though. You can get a fairly large paw on there. You can actually put your little finger round the end of the handle. It keeps your hand off the blade because the last thing you really want to be doing with this, it is a stiff knife to open and close. And demonstrate that while watching that spring rising and falling, which you can just about see if I can keep it. But seriously, do keep your fingers away from this blade. It is sharp and it closes quite rapidly. Yes, so no fingers on there. Pocket clips, all four corners. I don't like them, so I've removed it. And removing it was really easy. Nice quality fixtures and fittings. Blade shape is weird, isn't it? I mean, it's almost anthropomorphic, I think. Little eye here, perhaps a beak, a little mouth. Perhaps I've just spent too long with this knife. And it is at quite an angle to the handle, but it is sharp. It's really quite attractive, I think. There's a little stonewash sort of finish on there that you can see. The only redundant, it's decent thickness as well. The only redundancy is this nail nick. I can only imagine that the only use you're going to find for that is torturing people, trying to rip the thumbnails. It was very good for ripping thumbnails off. You're not going to be able to open that, and it hurts. You're not going to be able to open that like that. The reason it's world legal is twofold. First of all, it is most definitely a two-handed opener. And the second is the length of the blade. This makes it legal in, like I said, 142 odd countries. And most definitely, yep. It's made of, I don't know what this plastic is. The blade is, there we go. Apparently there are some that are R440, but I haven't seen them. There are also a couple of different designs, none of them which make it actually that much more attractive, really. And what else are we going to see? Let's see. It's supposed to be world legal. It's a decent size knife. How sharp is it? It's that sharp. It is properly, I mean, there's quite a decent edge on that blade. No, all right, no. Yeah, that's sharp. Pencil test. Sharpen a pencil with it, obviously. Yep. Can we cut a pencil in half with it? Let's have a look. There we are. Actually, I've got to practice this as usual. Right, pencil chopping. All right, nearly. One more blow. Two more blows. Yep, pencil chopping works. Box opening. Hello, sir. Yeah, it's got a present for you. Oh, jolly good. Right, what have we got here? Oh, it's a box. Let's see. Can we open it? Oh yes, you can open boxes with it effortlessly. Can we perhaps baton with it? Let's see. Yeah, that way. Right, let's give this a go. Well, you probably could if you had enough time and the inclination to do so. Further stick. It's not actually easy trying to do this. Looking through a camera. Aha, there we go. Yep, you can feather stick with it. So all in all, actually genuinely quite a useful knife. Now, oh, forgot the last test. Can you skin small animals with it? No, that'd be cruel, wouldn't it? Right, so the conclusion with this knife is yes, it is very, very good. It's about £25, something along those lines. There are a couple of other versions available, none of which make it particularly any more attractive. And that brings us to another problem with the look of this thing. If you're in France or Serbia, you can carry this at the discretion of a police officer. Why? Why is he going to let you carry this when you could be carrying a Swiss Army knife, for example? And in Serbia, you can't carry it either if the police officer thinks that the appearance is too aggressive, which, let's face it, I don't suppose you get many blindside Serbian policemen. And these have been taken off people in the UK as well because of the size and how aggressive they actually look, which I think is a bit of a shame. So I would generally think it's probably better to carry something smaller, something that looks nicer, and just remember that just because you can doesn't mean you should. I don't know about you, I don't fancy arguing the toss about having one of these with the copper in whose language I can't speak. And waving your passport and saying Her Majesty demands and requests probably isn't going to get you anywhere in France anyway. So I mean, around the house, it's just a brilliant knife. I've been using this for quite a lot of things, from cooking to box opening, letter opening. It generally is a proper decent knife. Whether you'd want to carry it, I think you'd need to think really, really carefully about that. And oddly enough, I was reading quite a nice knife book written in the 70s, and he's talking about walking and talking. What the hell are you on about this? Apparently he's walking and talking. Has anybody else ever heard that expression? Because it's the first time for me. But sharp, easy to hold. Not your kids aren't going to open this because they're not going to be basically strong enough. Word of warning: that tip can be it's sharp. I was trying to record this about 20 minutes ago and I had to stop just because I just about touched it and was playing around with it with two fingers. Closing, most definitely two-handed. Opening, definitely two-handed. It is a decent chunky knife that I think I'm going to keep for at home.